Name me another athlete more closely associated with their country than Djokovic is with Serbia, right? He wins that gold medal, and they have a parade for him like he won the World Series. When I was in Belgrade last year, there's a huge mural of the guy. The fact that Novak Djokovic doesn't live in Serbia anymore, that his mural has been defaced, and here is a country that seems to be sort of rolling back democracy, and there's student protests, and they're trying to figure out their relationship with Russia. The fact that Novak Djokovic doesn't live in Serbia, I find that a fascinating story that really hasn't gotten much coverage.
If I'm Serbian, and I mean, this guy's on the short list of all time. I think of Pele in Brazil, right? I think of Michael Jordan in this country. He is the biggest thing that possibly has ever existed in his country, and is more closely tied with his country. You know, there have been, you know, Carlos Alcaraz, Rafa came before him, right? Like, I mean, there have been these huge names, but for what he's done in tennis, he's created a legacy of tennis in this country that's new, and that is changing, and he's defined so much of the culture, and especially the sporting culture there. It's sad to see. It stinks. I'm sure he's not crazy about it. He has also always shown up and played for Serbia. Olympics, Davis Cup when he hasn't had to. No one would, at this age, no one would blame him for not showing up for Davis Cup for the last 10 years. And he has. Right. So it's an unfortunate situation. But listen, you've done profiles. You've been as close to him as any journalist with profiling him in 60 Minutes, doing the cover story for SI. Like, what's your take on it?
I think you're right. This is a man of conviction. I think this is a really complicated situation. You know, since the breakup of Ukraine, and I'm no expert on sort of Balkan politics, but this is a new country. He is probably the single figure most closely aligned with this country. I do think one just big picture. I don't know how we went down this route. I blame myself for taking us down this route, but I think it's an important topic. And I also think one thing I will say: this is a story that will age really, really well, and no one's going to give a shit about yelling at a box or breaking a racket. People are going to look back at this guy and his longevity. What you said, what he has done for competitive, for mental strengths, and for what we think about competitive instincts. And this is a man of conviction. And I don't know the specific. I mean, I've sort of done the cursory Google search. It sounds like he is on the side of the pro-democracy student movement. That has put him in the crosshairs of the government. Big picture, I think the Novak Djokovic story is one that's going to wear pretty well. I think it's going to age well, and I wouldn't be surprised if he returns to Serbia. But to me, it's just remarkable. I mean, you said Pele. I think that's a good comp. I mean, imagine Pele renouncing Brazil. I mean, the fact that Novak Djokovic, who, whatever we are, 16 months from winning Olympic gold, and he's getting this multi-day parade in Serbia, and now he doesn't live there anymore, I think is a really wild story.
Yeah.